Hey everyone, joining us at midday.com is Jimmy Sheirgill, who's here for your honor to on Sony Live. So firstly, please tell us about, what got you on board for season 2 after the response to season 1.
Basically, the season 2 starts off with where the season 1 ended, and it's about 10-15 days later kind of a situation, what is happening. And we have some very powerful, interesting characters जिनके बारे में शायद आपने पहले वाले सीजन में सिर्फ सुना था या उनकी बात हुई थी. And now we have those people there in this one. Gulshan Ji is one of them, Mahi, Zishan, and a whole lot of other characters, important characters who are there now in this one, making it more interesting, more exciting, more thrilling than the first one. And the first one was received well with the audiences, so that is how the season 2 happened to come up. And now with the kind of response that we're getting for the season 2, we are all very hopeful and excited that there could be a season 3.
And what was your reaction when you saw the original, the Israeli show?
I watched the Israeli show, the entire first season before I signed this one. Then I was given the script to read of how the Indian version had been adapted to this thing. But the most striking bit was the father and son relationship. I think I could probably relate to it because I have a son who's about 17 years old right now. At that point of time, obviously, he was 15. But yes, I could relate to that aspect of the relationship, and that is what got me excited. And I just felt that there are so many layers to this particular character. Obviously, when you watch the original one, the protagonist in that one has performed it in his own way. We tried to do it in our own way. It was basically me and Nevas sitting down and working out things as to how we're going to go with it. And the great thing about Nevas is that as far as the emotional aspect of the character is concerned, he completely leaves it to you, and he just makes you go through the ups and downs of the story, briefs you and puts it there in your head before every scene as to what all has conspired, what all has happened, and then you take it from there emotionally.
Like you said, playing a father who's fought between his professional commitments and, of course, being a father, protective for his son. So how did you kind of get yourself into that, character quickly?
See, there is a lot of hard work that goes into any script, or whether it's for the OTT, whether it's for a series, a mini series, or a film, or anything. I think there is a lot of preparation that goes on in the background before you finally start shooting. And we did our share of that prep. And between me and E, there were a lot of things that we decided on and how we're going to keep this particular character and everything. And then same thing happened for the season 2 also. It wasn't that the season 1 had happened a very long time back or something. There was a year's gap, but then it was very fresh in our memories as far as that character is concerned, as far as the story is concerned. And obviously you do end up revisiting it once before you start shooting and you read the new script. But that one thing that E wanted a small little edge in this character, which is of Bishan Khosla, to be more like, now in the first season he had been pushed, and now finally he's back against the wall and he has no more space to go back. So he has to retaliate a little bit, which has to be a little gradual. That was the brief that the director had given me, and we kind of followed that and made it come out slowly.
So shooting through the pandemic and even after, I'm sure it's quite a challenge, it's not as easy as before. So any precautions or anything that you had?
Oh, it was very, very difficult. I mean, we've forgotten everything about that because we all feel that we need to move on and think of the brighter side and think of the way the response to the show has been, and people are loving it and everybody wants a third season and everything like that. That just makes you forget all those bad memories. But traveling all the way to some outdoor location and then just shooting for a couple of days, that also with a lot of difficulty. And finally, there's a lockdown that happens and you have to come all the way back. And this happens so many times. So everything you feel that could have been shot in one go in about a couple of months, 3 months, start to finish like we did the first season. But over here, it just happened over like 6-8 months, and that also in patches. We are shooting in patches and there's a lockdown, then there is restrictions. Then we say that, oh, it's an outdoor, we cannot shoot it because of these restrictions, and there were a lot of night scenes where there was night curfew everywhere, so it could not be shot. So a lot of restrictions, a lot of postponing everything that happened, but at the end of the day, like I said, you forget about everything when the response is nice, and if the response is not nice, then it always leaves like a kind of a bad taste in your memory. But here we are glad that it's being received so well. And
you've had a lot of memorable characters both in Hindi and Punjabi cinema. But do you feel OTT is where you're getting, the real characters which just like what you deserve?
I don't think that I can say that I'm getting what I deserve or whether I'm not getting what I deserve. I've got my share of some really lovely, memorable characters in films also. And there are some characters that I've been shooting for in films right now, which will obviously release in some time and stuff like that. But yes, OTT is a brilliant platform for all of us, whether it's directors, actors who want to do something, who want to try something different, some unusual concept, something different, something new. So which is happening big time on the OTT. And like I always say, that a human being, a person can never be satisfied with no matter how much money he has, and actors can never be satisfied no matter how many good roles they have. They still want better roles. Yeah.
And your fans are definitely excited for your birthday this year. So what are your plans, really? How are you going to celebrate?
I have stopped making plans now because of what's happening. Suddenly now we were thinking as to what would we do, and now we have is a new variant that is coming up. So we got to just go with the flow and take it as it comes.
And also, you're not one of those actors who's always out there and always at every party and every event. So is your privacy something you still value, despite being a celebrity?
Yes, I do. I think I'm one of the lucky ones who can, has his own space. And so, yeah, I mean, when you need to come out, you have to. I mean, it's a part of our profession that if we have worked on something, we're excited about that thing. And then before the release or after the release, we have to come out for promotions and do that. That is a part of our job. And I try to do that always. Otherwise, I enjoy playing though. I think it's nice to be, it keeps you more grounded.
Okay, and anything about your upcoming projects as well after this?
I've just got one more series that I've done with Netflix, and we'll talk about it once they announce the date of release and everything. And I've got a few films, out of which one is a Punjabi film, which should be releasing towards the end of April is when they have announced the date. And the rest of them, as and when the dates come out, you know what.
Lovely talking to you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you. Pleasure. Bye.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.